Okay, I want to do a quick amendment, and this is just a very short part 4. Number one, I want to say I did a video on spirit, flesh, and truth, and that was a while ago, and in it I explained how smarts and intelligence are fleshly, and how they don't have to be redeemed according to the truth. Just like a defense lawyer's ability to get someone off has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with them using smarts and intelligence to basically con the judge or the jury and to create an illusion. So if you want more understanding, watch the video. But in that video I said smart and intelligence have nothing to do with the truth. They can be associated with the truth, but they don't have to be. And then I said in the video that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding are always associated with the truth. I feel like I really substantiated that in the video series I just did, understanding versus ignorance. Because in that video I explained very clearly that knowledge, wisdom, and even understanding is all based on truth. But understanding that isn't coupled with integrity, that is going to use knowledge and wisdom, is basically using truth for bad rather than good. And I gave the example of a nuclear bomb, which is truth because it works. It's knowledge, it's wisdom, it works, but it's used for bad. And the reason I'm doing this amendment right here is because I want to give another biblical example. And I want to use the example of Balaam in the Old Testament. This was a false prophet who possibly could have been a true prophet who basically turned away. And there was a matter of Peor where the king of Moab, Balak, was saying, hey, curse these Israel guys. And Balaam said, I can't do that. I can't do it. And so he blessed the Jews rather than curse them. But then at the very end, and this is very clear throughout the scriptures, I'll just list them real quick. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 through 15. You got Numbers 25:18, 31:16, Deuteronomy 4:3, Joshua 22:17, Hosea 9:10, Psalm 106:28, and then you have 1 Corinthians 10:8, and then you have I think Revelation 2:16, but just read Revelation 2, it's there. Basically, this guy, what he did is he went up to this guy who was basically paying him, the king of Moab. And after he blessed Israel rather than cursed them, he said, wait a second, I got an idea. And it's based on knowledge and wisdom. And it's based on the truth. I can't curse Israel. But God hates it when they sin. God hates it when they deviate from Him and His plan. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all these beautiful women and all of their beguilement and all of their show and their games and what they bring to the table, and you're going to make them draw close to all these Israel men and entice them through their luxuries and their seduction. And in that way, you'll eventually get God to curse His own people. Because if they stray from God, I can't curse God. I can't curse Israel, and you can't curse Israel. But Israel can curse itself. So you go ahead and you get them to sin. Then that will be your best bet of God judging His people and you escaping. So it's a perfect example that is biblical. I already used a nuclear bomb, okay? And that's 100% accurate. But now I'm using biblical scripture of a false prophet who could have been true but chose falseness. A false prophet who, according to the scriptures, used truth, knowledge, and wisdom to do incredible damage. It was very ignorant for Balaam to use the truth in that way, to use knowledge and wisdom in that way against God's people. It was ignorant, it lacked understanding, and it was evil. So you have a perfect example in scriptures of a man who used the truth, who used knowledge, and who used wisdom, but used it ignorantly, used it for harm, and ultimately it lacked understanding. So I'm just basically tying this in a neat little bow. I'm using a worldly example the world can understand, and I'm using a very spiritual example that the church can understand. And if you think this is done, it's not done. Go read the book of Revelation chapter 2. It talks about people doing the same thing Balaam did. They use the truth, and they use knowledge, and they use wisdom to corrupt God's people. So I am trying to emphasize to the latter degree that just because something is truth and is based on knowledge and wisdom doesn't give it a free ride down that path that we should listen to it or give ourselves over to it. There are many wicked people who use the truth and who use knowledge and wisdom to harm people. They use it for evil. They use it for control. They use it for oppression. It lacks understanding. It is ignorance at the end of the day. So you need to consider these things and understand them on a deeper level.